Welcome back, everybody. Today we got a Chevy Malibu and we believe the driver's side wheel bearing is bad. We're gonna go ahead and replace it with one off Amazon. Should be just fine. First thing you want to do is get it safely up on jack stands. Then we're gonna remove this wheel here and look at the area down there and see what we need to take apart. All right, here we are at the rotor and front wheel assembly here. Now you're gonna have to remove quite a bit here to get this hub here out in the middle. First thing you want to do is probably get off this caliper and bracket here. It looks like it's held on with 14 millimeters, and you get some pretty big caliper mounting bracket bolts here. They're 21, if I'm not mistaken. Then you have to remove the shock bolts here. Those are 18. And then the tie rod here, which is 18 as well, and that'll allow this whole assembly to swing out. This is a T30, if I'm not mistaken, to get the rotor hat off, and a 32 millimeter nut. So we're gonna get all that removed and show you what it looks like apart. Also too, you want to pop this line out here off this bracket so it don't stretch anything. Okay, here we are so far. We left the caliper assembled and just removed the 21 millimeter mounting bolts to the hub. We removed the two 18 millimeter bolts from the shock to hub mounting. We removed the 18 millimeter bolt from the tie rod end. All those can be removed by hand tools very easily. The T30 screw that was in here was a little stuck, but it came out again with hand tools. You will need a big breaker bar or an impact for this 32 millimeter nut. This gun here is a very powerful gun, and it took, 30 seconds of hammering it before it came out. A lot of these GM bolts got yellow Loctite on it from the factory. I believe this nut here is a locking nut, as you see the slits in there and everything. So it was pretty much on there good. Once you do that, you should be able to pull this hub assembly forward and then push this axle out the back and set it off, and then you'll have access to the three 18 millimeter bolts in the back to remove the hub assembly. All right, we pushed the hub assembly or the axle out. Not sure, I'm pretty sure this ring is not part of it. I believe that was on the back there, and if you hear this, we'll double check though. That it might stay on here. That might be a tab on there, but if you listen, you'll see that this thing is bad. A lot of grittiness in there. So we're gonna take these three 18 millimeter bolts off. Sometimes these hubs are stuck on here. You'll just have to beat it off and put one of the bolts back in the shock assembly to hold the hub up, and just hit the flanges right around here where the studs are with a hammer, and eventually it'll fall off. Well, we got super lucky. This one just kind of fell out the hole there. So we'll show you that. This thing is definitely bad. It doesn't even spin. Try and set the phone up so we can spin it with two hands. Let's see. You hear that? That thing is no good anymore. So installation is the reverse. Make sure you know your torque specs. Clean out this surface area here and bolt everything back up. We got the good one here to show you for comparison. It's totally silent. And it spins much smoother, and we'll show you with this one. It's really gritty, and you hear that bearing noise in there. These bearings are shot, and it's got a little bit of play in it. All right, we got the new hub installed. Make sure you put some Loctite on the end of each of these bolts. Try and focus there. Put some Loctite, put some blue Loctite on each one of the bolts there. Make sure you do not forget the dust shield. We forgot to put it on after we got it all back together and then realized it was on the floor. So do not forget the heat shield. You should put Loctite on everything just to be sure. This center bolt, just rail it down with an impact. We're going to put a little Loctite on there as well. Get your caliper mounting bracket bolts back up. Those are extremely tight, so look it up for your specific model. And get everything situated. Put the tie rod back on there, and you should be done. All right, and we're done. It's a very simple job. Takes no more than 30 minutes, an hour to do, and you should be back on the road. Double check your work. Make sure you got your torque specs right. Loctite on everything. Blue Loctite, just to be sure. And you're good to go. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.